There is Laurent Jalabert's LBL performance, his second last year, fourth in 95. But this is one of the classics which still eludes him, and I'm afraid he can tick this one off as well. Because even if he gets second, he's not going to catch this rider now. He's powering up towards the summit of the Saint-Nicolas, and then he knows he's just 3 miles from the finish, and a lot of that is downhill.
Certainly is, but he's still got to get himself over the top of the climb here. There's the banner over the top in showing him that he has reached the summit of this climb, and Sergio Passani, the team manager there, must start to feel a little bit more confident now after that attack of his young man, Michele Bar.
Team is still hanging on the tail of that group. He's done quite a ride.
Well, Laurent Jalabert still trying to stay clear over the top of the climb now, very comfortably indeed, picking up his pace, and the organisers very nicely put in a nice...
Bogert van den Broeke op de helling van Saint-Nicolas. En als we boven zijn is het nog 5,5 kilometer.
Van den Broeke gaat.
Van den Broeke gaat nog eens met die grote versnelling. Kijk eens aan, jongens. Aanval van Frank van den Broeke.
We're down to just 10% of that right now. You can see we're almost reaching the difficult part of the climb. Echevarria digging deep. He wants to blow this race apart. Casagrande has responded perfectly. Coming up there is David Rebellin in third. Michael Bogard there in fourth. Just tucked onto the back there is Oscar Kamenzin. This is the decision. Francesco Casagrande's going again.
So he's taken one look at the face of Echevarria, which looked to be a mask of pain. He's taken up the running now. He's got to get away here, Casagrande, because he won't match some of these guys in the sprint. Bogart's not a bad finisher. Ask Lance Armstrong in the Amstel Gold Race a couple of years ago. And now we've got Casagrande sitting on the front here. Big effort here by this man. He's such a powerful man when he does this.
He's a huge bike rider, very strong man. He's coming up to the summit of the climb now, and right on his wheel, Echevarria has recovered. He's the man who made the response and made the first move of the day. And you can see he's digging so deep. You can see the grin on his face, which is not a grin of pleasure, it's a grin of pain.
Nous arrivons après la descente sur Liège dans la montée de la côte de Saint-Nicolas. Garzelli est le premier à accélérer dans les plus forts pourcentages. Un seul coureur va être capable de suivre l'Italien. Et ben c'est un autre Italien, c'est Paolo Bettini. Derrière.
Tall from Alexander Scheffer. If Scheffer, no, acceleration now coming from Armstrong. He's decided, just as the main field decides to come back to his wheel, that he wants to go for it.
Look at the face of him now. He's let them onto his back wheel and he's putting them all back on the defensive again. But still, Samuel Sanchez is holding that wheel, and for me, is still the big danger.
Very strong Sanchez on this bike race this afternoon, and coming up another rider has come onto the tail of Sanchez right now. Difficult to see from this altitude who has made the contact. Armstrong knows it's a do or die effort right now. He's been on the front for about 15 kilometers, and he knows if he wants to win this bike race he has to go alone, but in fact it's one of the iBernesto.com riders.
Well, you know, this is a fearful show of strength again by Lance Armstrong. He's let the whole peloton out. Jan Ullrich is a little bit of bother here at the back, as now Armstrong puts in that continued acceleration, but he has been joined. It is far from over, done and dusted. There's a number of riders across the gap. Sanchez not prepared to help at all.
To the climb here right now, Bogart trying to make amends for finishing second last week in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, in Amstel Gold Race.
Dans la montée de Saint-Nicolas, le rythme a été élevé, et c'est surtout dans sa deuxième moitié qu'on va voir attaquer Michael Bogert, le néerlandais. Son attaque est fulgurante. Derrière, on voit Vinokourov et Rebellin réagir. Bettini a beaucoup plus.
And a former very good mountain biker, Bob, so he won't be too worried about the steepness of this climb.
Oh, he's done some big climbs in his career. This is a great ride, though, being put in by Cadell Evans. Has had some very tough luck with broken collarbones in the recent past.
He's only had 7 broken collarbones, Bob.
Only 7. He's put all that behind him, though, and he's streaking across to our 2 leaders. Jens Voigt still making the tempo in front of Alexander Vinokourov with just over 5Ks to the finish.
I'm not sure Jens Voigt there is not hurting Vinokourov now. 55 seconds the gap, 5.3 kilometers to go. And the Italian flags don't come much bigger than that one there, and the crowds are the largest they've been all day. cheering Rodriguez and Bogart. This looks as though it might well be Martin Perdeguero who's having another little go. A surprising rider this. He's got some good wins under his belt and he's reached them. Now that's going to give us a whole new ball game.
Well, he's back on and he's going to go straight past if that's what he thinks the tactics are, and he does, and that's the best move to make. Michael Bogart looks across and says, where did you come from? Well, I'll tell you what, Michael, he came across with the rest of the group who are not that far behind him. Still a couple of very steep corners before they get to the summit.
Sûrement accéléré. Rebellin Kessler, Bogart accélère, il a raison, sprint.
Mais Valverde le contrôle directement, sans aucun problème. Les favoris sont toujours là. Hein.
Tous. Et Bogart, combien de fois il n'a pas tenté ici? Combien de fois? Et maintenant c'est Bettini. Et voilà le pétard de Bettini. Le grillon est parti. Ah ça fait mal. Et maintenant on va voir. Pour le moment seul Valverde est dans l'image. Et puis Rebellin, très à l'aise, et Kessler. Bogart, 5 hommes dans votre image. Bettini, Valverde, Rebellin, Kessler et Bogart qui coince un petit peu. Est-ce que Bettini peut placer la deuxième accélération qui serait fatale à ce moment-ci de la course? Cunego un petit peu lâché sur l'accélération de Bettini, mais qui va revenir.
Et Di Luca est revenu également.
Donc on recommence. Bettini, Valverde, Rebellin, Kessler, Bogart. On peut un peu écarter, merci Christian, un petit peu plus en bas. On voit Di Luca avec le casque jaune, probablement Rico, Cunego, Schleck. Il y a encore un autre équipier, je crois que c'est Mori qui doit être là également. Un Rabobank qui pourrait être Decker. Eh bien, est-ce qu'on va avoir de nouveau cette arrivée avec un groupe de 15 ou davantage?
Et attaque de Bogart apparemment.
Oui, mais il est tout de suite contré par Popovic.
Et par Cunego. C'était un peu téléphoné cette attaque-là, hein. On l'avait bien anticipé.
C'est le Liège-Bastogne-Liège le plus indécis, le plus tactique de ces dernières années.
Oh, yes. Oh, there he goes. Oh, straight out of Rebellin's right on his wheel. And so is Valverde. And Andy, that's the end for Andy. Oh, that's a huge stinging attack. But he's got to try and shed them, Sean. He can't. So if he can't shed them now, he's not going to shed them at the end.
No, well, certainly, as we talked about earlier, he has to try and get away from the guys that are better sprinters than him. And, of course, Rebellin, Valverde would be the better ones in the sprint. So for Frank, it's a situation here where, he's going to have to ride really hard and make it very, very difficult for them. As we see Valverde, a little bit of trouble here, I think. The shoulders moving quite a lot. So certainly close to being on the limit here.
He seems to have just let the pace slacken off a little bit, Frank, now. And that's helped Valverde. He's managed to get back into this. Then he's going to go again without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to put that acceleration in. This is what he's got to keep doing, isn't it, Sean? Just dig. And Valverde, once again, having trouble just following the wheel. He's still hanging in there, but I think he's not on 100% form. And if Schleck could just put a little bit more in, maybe Valverde's... Well, it's a bit too late to get with Valverde now, but... Oh, it's a shame.
C'est un peu un talent gâché, le Luxembourgeois, alors que derrière, on va voir notamment Cadel Evans attaquer, mais c'est surtout Joachim Rodriguez qui va aller chercher la deuxième place. Mais ce duo va être rejoint par le champion du monde, Cadel Evans. Nous sommes dans la côte de Saint-Nicolas, 1000 mètres à 11% de moyenne. Les deux Alexandres vont parfaitement s'entendre pour essayer de contenir le trio de chasse, donc avec un champion du monde, avec Valverde et avec Philippe Gilbert.
He is the man of the moment here. There was a Luxembourg flag left and right. There's one over there on the far right as well. That's the regional flag rather than the national flag. But Philippe Gilbert is riding this race like the champion he's been for the last 8 days. And he's got only the two Schlecks now. They've got rid of Greg van Avermaet. He couldn't hold on.
Well, Gilbert will hear the cheers of the frenzied Belgian fans. Goosebumps. Gilbert is attacking, and he is distancing himself now from the Schleck brothers.
Gilbert has gone. This is the cheek of the day because he's advertised the fact what he can do, and it's Frank Schleck who tries desperately to hold on. There's the second kick from Gilbert. Now he's got rid of Andy, but he hasn't got rid of Frank.
Frank Schleck has got to stay on that wheel. Andy Schleck has got to look up, try to keep...
Старался ехать с ним, но на côte de Saint-Nicolas на этих градиентах за 10%, к сожалению.
To see the accelerations coming from riders we'd seen just a few days previously. Carlos Betancourt, a 22-year-old Colombian, was really trying to light up the race, but they were all trying to...
Côte de Saint-Nicolas, 1200 mètres à 8,6% 100% dans les faubourgs de Liège. C'est les équipiers de Guérans qui imposent le tempo dès le pied. Ensuite, on va avoir une accélération d'un coureur de la formation YAM, mais c'est surtout deux très bons punchers qui vont attaquer. Puisqu'il n'y a plus Purito, Gianpaolo Caruso est libre et tente sa chance. Il est encore accompagné du 6e de Tirreno, Pozzovivo de la G2R, la mondiale. L'Italien, décidément, est en très bonne...
Tout le monde s'observe dans les derniers kilomètres. Les Katusha, bien représentés à l'avant, tentent leur chance avec Dani Moreno.
Audacieux repris alors que Davide Formolo tente de surprendre à son tour les favoris.